Hello humans. This is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I'm not an authority. This is purely my point of view, my take on something that is part of my life, okay? And that's veganism. I cut out animal products from my diet. There's so many subcategories and stuff, but call me a dietary vegan if you're going to call me anything, okay? Because this is the thing. There are so many different versions, variations. It's particularly if you watch vegan YouTubers, right? And this is not to say all of them, but an awful lot of the ones that I've seen. Holier than thou. You're not a proper vegan if you don't do this, if you do that, or you do the other. I can't be arsed with that shit. I really can't. You know, life is too short. At the end of the day, the idea of, like with the medical code of ethics, first do no harm. So long as you're trying, so long as you are trying not to harm animals, so long as you are cutting down, cutting back, trying to keep stuff out of your diet, trying not to financially support these industries, don't beat yourself up about shit, okay? That's my point of view on it anyway. The thing is, as far as is possible and practical, that's very subjective. What is possible, what is practical, varies enormously from person to person. And everyone has a different take on it. What is reasonable? I mean, I have heard the argument that, you know, if you're vegan, you should eat only organic food because there's no pesticides and you're not killing the bugs. That's quite a valid argument, but at the end of the day, you know, who can afford all organic anyway? So, yeah, that's not exactly practical for me in my life. The alternate, which I've also heard argued, is that because organic should be natural fertilizer, you're using animal products, therefore it's not vegan. Which is possibly the stupidest thing I have ever heard. But if that's your take on it, well, good for you. You eat the non-organic stuff. I am fairly sure that they will still use animal-based fertilizer on your stuff just because it's not certified organic, just because it's not super natural, doesn't mean it's all artificial chemical fertilizer. So, yeah. And, you know, maybe some people are that much enmeshed in the lifestyle and can afford to be because their lifestyle, their finances allow it, that they grow all their own food. Great, good on you, but again, it's not possible and practical for an awful lot of people to do that. You know, if you have good and valid reasons for cutting stuff out of your life, do it. If you don't, don't. Whatever, make up your own mind as to what is right to do in your life. I buy meat for my cat. My cat is an obligate carnivore. He has to have meat. It is something he needs. I could be the sort of vegan who's like, I'm not going to have a pet. I'm not going to have a cat because I have to have animal products and that's not acceptable. And I like my cat. I'm very partial to my cat. So that's not happening. Fuck that. So yeah, at the end of the day, you are in charge of your code of ethics, and I don't think anyone has the right to say, well, you're not vegan enough, or you're a terrible person for not doing this or for doing that, or yeah. No, I can't be asked with it. I really can't. And when it comes down to things like e-numbers and these sort of micro additives, I mean, who has the time or inclination in their life to check every last damn thing? Because I'm a uni student, I have kids, I'm a single parent, you know, I run my household, I have 2 jobs. And even if I didn't have all that shit, really, the amount of I have to check the label on everything I buy anyway for dairy products, gelatin, honey, it's a pain in the ass, but I do it because it's, and that's coming up in a minute, because it's important to me to do that. But when you're talking about little micro things that I'd have to get my phone out and check my checklist, like where does that come from? And the idea of having to research different companies. And some people take it to the extent of, what glue is the label stuck on with? Yeah, if you want to take it that far, do that, fine. I have no problem with you for sticking to your ethics, to doing what is right for you. But I can't be asked. Life is really too short. And my take on it is, I'm doing my bit. I went vegetarian in my teens for 4 years, and I stopped because I got pregnant and I had horrific morning sickness, the hyperemesis gravidarum. Couldn't stop chucking up. And one day, I fancied eating fish fingers. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to eat the fish fingers. And they were the first thing that stuck down in weeks. And basically from that point on, I went back to eating meat. And I didn't like it. It bothered me. But at the end of the day, I lapsed and stayed lapsed for a very long time. I went vegetarian again in 2013, at the beginning of 2013. And I'd already started cutting out dairy like May before, because an overheard conversation suggested to me that I might be lactose intolerant, and I had been ill for like 12 years at that point, and I had been on all this medication and it had done me no good whatsoever. And I thought, I'm gonna try this, I don't care. I love cheese, I love chocolate, I love ice cream. But I'm sick of being sick. I was so ill and couldn't cope. And it worked. So, at this point I'm a lactose-free-ish vegetarian from 2013. And that didn't work out too well because there's dairy in all sorts of things you don't expect it to be in. And I was better, but I wasn't well, like fully well. And it's like, I know that I could do better. And my mum's intolerant to eggs. Whether she's actually allergic or not, I'm not entirely sure. I've never actually been tested for lactose intolerance, by the way. It's purely a thing of, I cut dairy out and I got better. After years of being ill, I'd been diagnosed with IBS. And they say diagnosed, it's like list of symptoms, and it's like 7 or 8 out of 10 of IBS and 7 or 8 out of 10 of lactose intolerant crossover. So it's really close, very similar, and I basically reckon they got it wrong. Because the medicine for IBS didn't work and cutting out dairy did, and I have been well for 5 years. And that's what's important to me. So yeah, I was still struggling a little bit because there were certain amount of dairy products getting into my diet, and also the willpower thing, because I thought I shouldn't eat this, I am not supposed to have this, and I kept letting myself have little bits here and there as a treat, and me and willpower don't get on terribly well. And ultimately it was a case of, I need to change my thinking. I need to stop. I need to say, I can't have this anymore. And it took a while to transition over, which was somewhere around September last year. Not last, year before last. Time. So, like, as I say, a year and a half ago. It took a while, and it's... they say cheese is addictive, and that once you've stopped eating it for a month, you break the addiction. This is bullshit. I'm still addicted to cheese. I smell toasted cheese and it causes me pain. But I'm doing it because it's for my health. And, you know, I kind of wish I was an ethical vegan, but I'm not. I am doing it largely. I mean, I care about the animals, but for me, it's definitely something that I did because I felt I had to for my health. I try to be good in my life generally. I watch out for it in cosmetic products. Not that I wear makeup really, but you know, shampoo, conditioner. I watch out to see if things have got lanolin in. But again, so many things have these convoluted names and e-numbers and like this same chemical that can be plant-based or animal-based, and which one is it? And I cannot be asked to research everything. I just can't, sorry. I will have second-hand leather, but I won't buy new, or at least I haven't so far. If I had a job where I had to have a specific type of shoe, for example, and I found the specific shoe in leather and I couldn't find it in a non-leather vegan alternative, I'd buy the ones I needed to. At the same time, if these are the absolutely perfect shoes and that they're a sensible price, I've not been in that position yet, but I've you know, exactly how much would I cut off my nose to spite my face? That's the question. How much am I going to go without something that I want and will be useful to me? I mean, I don't care what anyone says. Leather boots, my leather Doc Martens lasted me years longer than the non-leather. Maybe that's just my experience, but that's the experience I had. So I can see the temptation being there. It hasn't cropped up yet, but it might. And at the end of the day, I don't think people who are dietary vegans who buy leather shoes are bad people, any more than I think somebody who is a vegetarian who doesn't eat animals but still drinks milk is a bad person. You know, they're just working on a different code of ethics, or maybe they're not even following it for ethics. Maybe they're doing it for other reasons, and their reasons are not entirely my business. I mean, I'm quite happy to share my views on being vegan and the benefits it's had for me personally, to be an example of it's not that difficult, it's not that expensive, it's not a real hardship when you think about it. It's not nearly as difficult as I thought it was going to be. And these are the sort of things that put a lot of people off trying it, because they think it's expensive, they think it's difficult, they think it's too much like hard work. And in some respects it can be. It depends on you and how far you are prepared to go. So that's just my take on it. And I've unfollowed all the YouTubers I was formerly watching for vegan issues, because one after another, even the ones that started off really making sense and having well-researched viewpoints, it's just like, you get to that point with people where it's just like, your logic doesn't make any sense to me. This is where you have to follow your own. You know, if you want to cut animal products out of your life for health reasons, then health is your priority. If it's ethics, ethics is your priority. And nobody goes through life without causing any harm. Harm is inevitable. You are going to step on that snail. You are going to inhale that bug in the garden. You are never going to be able to be 100%. And you just have to decide where that line gets drawn. And you also have to not beat yourself up if something slips over that line that, you know, you didn't check a label, or you were at a party and you were absolutely fucking ravenous and there was nothing on the table that you could eat, so you know, you pick it, you know, you've got cheese and pineapple on sticks and you're not eating the cheese but you're picking the pineapple off and it's coming into contact and you're I don't know, or you slip and you have a slice of pizza or whatever. It makes no difference at the end of the day. You've got to do what's right for you, and if you cock up, you cock up, you know? Stuff happens, get over it, move on, tomorrow's another day. Every day you try and be better than you were today. You try and improve on things. And that's all you ever can do. And you think most people aren't even trying. Most people are quite content to keep going as they have for years, as they have been taught that, you know, a proper balanced diet is meat and veg and dairy products and, you know, a little bit of everything. And, you know, whether you call it carnism or social conditioning or whatever, you know, people are following their own paths, and they can change or they can not change, and that's their own business. You can educate, inform, lead by example, but the more you come over as a asshole, as a holier than thou, I'm better than you are because I'm vegan bullshitter, just like, don't stop. You're harming everyone. You're harming the cause. You know, vive la cause. You know, it's just stupid. You're making us all look like nutters if you do that. I know I do that to a certain extent. I will check all the labels. I do look at stuff. I do, when I'm out for a meal, I do ask. Not as often as I should, perhaps, but, you know, I'm like, is this suitable for vegans? Is that okay? You know, I try. That's all anyone can do, is try. Using the term practicing vegan is definitely a good one, but, you know, I can't be asked with that, to be honest, either, for the most part. I tend to say I'm vegan and have done with it, and you wouldn't believe how many people still, in 2017, still don't understand what vegan means. My mum still messages me about ice cream and yogurt, and she gives me chocolate at Christmas, and this is 5 years since I gave up dairy, for fuck's sake, and a year and a half after going vegan, and she still doesn't get it, and I don't suppose she is going to get it now, and whatever. I just have to not be insulted by that, because, you know, it's not my fault, and I don't waste what she gives me. I give it to my kids who aren't vegan or vegetarian even, because their decisions are their own lives, their own choices. I would like them to come over to my way of thinking, but if I'd raised them that way, I would be concerned that I had brainwashed them. I've probably brainwashed them into carnism, which is, you know, just as unfortunate. But I made these decisions when they were in their teens, so I can't expect them to follow me. They will do their own thing, and that's fair enough. I would rather I led by gentle example than forced any set of beliefs down anybody's throat, including my own children. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say on the subject. Follow your own belief system, listen to the evidence, listen to information for and against, make up your own mind, be educated. It's the same with anything in life. Be educated, educate yourself, be aware that what you have known your whole life could be wrong. And if you're willing to change, go for it. And just don't be a dick to other people. If you're going to leave messages in the comments, because my views are not your views, piss off. Because, like, why would you do that? You know, your choices, your life, your business. I'm not judging you. Or I might judge you silently, maybe. But, you know, who cares? If you're going to think I'm an idiot, you go over there and think I'm an idiot. Whatever. You don't need to share that. And everyone has their own take on it, you know. Possible and practical. Subjective. Very subjective. You don't get to judge what is possible and practical in somebody else's life. You only get to choose what that entails in your own life. And if you can't deal with that, that's your own problem. Anyway, I have rambled and waffled enough for once, and see you next time. Laters.